Okay. I have the room to myself for a little bit. Didn't want to bother my roommates with me talking and recording. But yeah, so this is my last day on campus before the end of my first semester at Berklee. And I thought I'd just like go over how it went. I like doing these so mainly so I can look back at them. They're not really getting a lot of views, but I think some people might find it useful to like look at this video and see how Berklee's going and what you kind of can expect here, because it's not your average college experience at all, and that's good in like so many ways, and depending on what you're looking for, it can be bad in some ways. So I thought I'd go over that and yeah, just see how it went and talk about some of the highlights and yeah. But first I'll give you a little room tour. We got my bed, my two roommates' beds, and then our 3 desks here. It's a little bit messy right now because we're all packing to go home, which is pretty exciting. And yeah, you got that super cool view of the Boston skyline right there, which is kind of awesome. I love just like, I fall asleep just like looking at that every night, and I wake up to like the sunrise. And you know what, actually it looks like kind of a crazy sunrise right now, sunset right now. So here, I'll go and take video. Pretty awesome. See that? There's the view from the lounge in 60. Yeah, so I live in like the big main Berklee building, with the cafeteria where they hold, the semi-Berklee famous calf shows. But yeah, so I live in the sort of big silver one. It's called 160. It is it's the newest building, and it's also I don't know if it's the biggest. Yeah, I think it is the biggest building, both like physically and just the amount of people that it houses. Unless, you know what, maybe 150 is biggest, the one directly right there. But yeah, so I live in 160. It's the newest building. It's really great because I don't have to go outside to go to the caf. I can just go downstairs, and yeah, that's been super convenient, especially like rolling out of bed at like right before class and grabbing breakfast really quick. But yeah, it's pretty good. We share a bathroom, and honestly, I was a little bit nervous about sharing a bathroom at the beginning of the semester, but as opposed to having your own, but like it's fine. Everyone is pretty chill, and yeah, I have made like a lot of great friends with all of my floor mates, and we all hang out like so often. Pretty much every Friday, like everyone will crowd into this room because we have the biggest room on the floor. So it's kind of the party room. I don't know if you see the vibes in here are pretty immaculate, if I do say so myself. Being at Berklee, we're surrounded by so many crazy musicians. Like I sometimes you feel like you just like, why am I even here? There's so many like amazing musicians, but it's the type of place where I think someone described it like really well this way. They were saying, if you're in a race and you're racing a bunch of slow people who aren't runners, then you're not going to get as fast of a time as if you're racing against a bunch of people who are like world class. So I think that's one of the best things about like being at Berklee, is you're surrounded by a bunch of like incredible musicians, and everyone's so passionate, and that just makes you want to get better. And I think I probably studied the hardest I've ever studied this semester, and it didn't really feel like that because it's music, and so it's what I want to do. And yeah, the photography's kind of been on a break since I've been here because I've just been studying so hard. If you the photography videos don't seem to do as well as the Berklee videos, so I might just be switching to those most of the time, and photography will be taking more of like a secondary role on the channel. But you know, if you want more photography videos, you can just comment.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Chestnuts on an open fire. My room's really messy. Just got back from college, so this is all of my stuff. Guitar, bass, pedalboard, and my friend's my birthday present or graduation present, I think. My friend's face on a pillow. So if he watches this, then he'll be in it, I guess. Yeah. So I'm home. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this video, but there might be a sudden transition because one of my roommates walked into the room, and I had to stop the video. But yeah, I am back. I thought I'd do a little recap of the semester and tell you guys like what Berklee was like, and tell you about my new song and music video that is out right now, and the link will be in the description. So yeah, I think I'll set up and I'll do a little recap of the semester. Overall, it was a great semester. Went by really quick, and I thought I'd sort of answer some probably, I guess, pretty common questions about Berklee. I don't know, lots of people might find this video useful. First question that a lot of like new Berklee students will be asking is like, is it hard? And that question's kind of twofold, because on the one hand, yeah, it's pretty hard. It's college, and you know, you'll be studying, and like there's a lot to study, and if you're not already familiar with a lot of music theory and notation stuff like sheet music and stuff like that, it can be a lot of work. And I mean, I get like literally when I came to Berklee, I did not know, like I couldn't taw out a melody or taw out a rhythm or conduct or write a drum groove or like write anything on sheet music or tell you what key signature stuff was in or the order of sharps and flats. I couldn't tell you like any of that. So I definitely would be the right person to ask about starting from like ground zero. And I think it was, yeah, I mean, it was hard, but I think it's hard in the way that like if you study and you actually like pay attention and you know, you don't futz around and not like do your work, that's how you really end up like getting behind and making it hard for yourself. So I would say it is hard, but if you know, put the work in and pay attention and like want to improve, then you'll make it a lot easier for yourself. Okay, I just got up a little list of questions on like Quora. Yeah, so probably the second most asked question is it okay if I don't know how to sight read? And that's a big one because I spent a lot of my semester, and still I'm spending every day practicing during Christmas break, practicing sight reading. And yes, Berklee, like if you can play and if you like fundamentally like have musicianship, like Berklee will let you in. And you know, you have to be good and you have to understand a little bit of music theory, but if you can play and you sound good, Berklee thinks you have potential, and they often will let you in. And I've met like plenty of people who like can't really read, but they're learning, and I think that's super cool because, you know, Berklee's a contemporary music school. They do jazz and they do pop music and rock music. Like, you can be studying heavy metal music with Joe Stump as your instructor, and like that's super cool. But that being said, sight reading is a super important part like of being a musician, and it'll help you get jobs, and that's why I've been working at it so much. And yeah, I think you definitely, if you can't sight read, there's a big chance that you'll get in. Just work on it a little bit, be able to identify notes. So if they're like, oh, what note is that on the staff, you'd be like, it's G or G sharp or something. But yeah, it's one of those things where you don't have to know to get in, but once you graduate and you're a working musician, you're gonna want to know. And yeah, I think another thing about that is that there's no like class for it. I mean, there's ear training where you kind of learn how to sight sing and how to do rhythms and how to conduct, and that really helps, because I mean, then you have like all of the building blocks. You just need to like take that and put it on your instrument. And this is coming from a guitar player, and I think a lot of people say the guitar is like one of the hardest instruments to read on, which I would agree, because it's really hard because I cannot yet. And yeah, I think there's no like classes on it. They're not going to make you, but it's highly encouraged, right? So if you want to, you start off, they at Berklee you start off and they have like a placement exam kind of. It's called your ensemble like auditions rating, and they rate you as a musician from 1 to 8, and which is a little scary, definitely. It can be like, whoa, you know, like this feels like the real deal. And you know, I don't mind it because like it can be like a lot of pressure, but I don't mind it because it lets you sort of know where you are and gives you a goal. But yeah, so that rating system is like heavily based on sight reading chords and sight reading. If you can't sight read, then you're just not going to move up, and your ensemble like rating dictates what ensembles you can be in. So if you want to be in some, for instance, if you want to be in the Yellow Jackets ensemble, which is a jazz group, you are going to have to be like a 6 and I'm a 2. You know, so stuff like that. If you want to be in a specific ensemble, it is possible to reach out to the professor and send them a video of you playing. Like, but yeah, sight reading. Just in general, the more you know it, the better. Like, it didn't really like dawn on me until I went to music school that I really realized like, you know, if I started working on it before I went to Berklee, I would have had a much easier time now, and it's the same now. Like, I'm working on it now, so I'll have an easier time, and I'll be able to get in those like higher level ensembles. The earlier you start, the better. And once you're here, you're definitely going to want to learn. But you'll have so many resources. I'm actually taking a sight reading lab next semester, so with Berta Rojas, if anyone's heard of her. She's this like really amazing classical guitarist, and hopefully she'll be able to help me out with sight reading. But yeah, and you have your you also have your PI, your private instructor, so they'll be able to help you out, and it's just about chipping away at it a little bit every day. So yeah, that is sight reading. I'm just reading off of this like Quora post, and there's actually some great like points here. Yeah, so another great point, Berklee has no sports or fraternities, or like Greek life. Like, so if that's something that you want, I didn't really care about that, I just wanted to study music. But if that's something that you want, then Berklee has absolutely none of that. I often make jokes that we like mooch off of other schools, because a lot of Berklee students will like go to BU and go to their frats, or like, you know, we might join like a rec team in the area and not have our own sports team or something, or go to someone else's games. But yeah, so we absolutely no sports, no, other than we do have a ultimate frisbee club and a juggling club. But yeah, you might those are things you might expect coming from music school. Yeah, so no sports, no Greek life, and yeah. So another thing about Berklee, I'll kind of like mash these into one point. Berklee is a music school, so if that was stupid, of course Berklee's a music school. But yeah, Berklee is only music. I mean, you'll be taking like one gen ed class a semester or so. I mean, yeah, pretty much one gen ed, like general education, like English class a semester. And yeah, so if that's something that you want, if you want like a variety of different classes, or even people, then Berklee is not the place. Again, I knew I was like, I just want to focus on one thing. I want to focus on music and my guitar playing. And that's just what I wanted. But if you want like a variety of stuff, Berklee's not the place. It's, you know, when you live there, you, like this Quora post is saying, you eat, breathe, and sleep music. And that's part of that's like the great thing about being there, is that I don't think anywhere else I could like improve this fast, because it's literally like everyone's a musician. I've already found 2 bands to be in on top of my ensemble. Like everyone you talk to, you're always like learning things and talking about music, and it's really, I think music like really is a language, and you need to be like submerged in it to like really learn how to speak it. So yeah. 2 more like little points about it that this post is reminding me about. Berklee is in downtown Boston, so the housing is expensive, and there are ways you can get around this. I mean, you can be an RA, which is a lot of work, extra work, but that will they pay for your housing, which is really nice. And you can live off campus. You can maybe get an apartment and get like a few roommates, and that'll cut the housing cost down a lot. Or you could take the T a few stops down and live down there, and then it's much cheaper, and you can get like a really nice like actual flat, and it'll be like the same or cheaper than near Berklee. Berklee's in such like a densely populated downtown area that like it's really expensive. Yeah, and then another small little point. It's if you go to Berklee, you don't just have to do performance. I'm planning on majoring in performance. I might do a minor in film scoring, but yeah, if you go to Berklee, you do not just have to do performance. There's so many majors. I recommend taking a look at the major list, and actually it'll really help you like decide whether or not it's something you want to do. Well, a really popular major nowadays is production, because you know everyone can do it. It's just on your computer, and I know lots of people who are like making videos and not making videos, who are like making beats and stuff, and it's really popular. Yeah, and yeah, I think the big sort of point is like, don't expect it to be fun like 24/7, right? I mean, I love music, so it's all something I want to do, but you know, it's not gonna be like jamming 24/7. And I mean, there is a lot of jamming. There's a lot of playing, and that's one of the great things about being in a music school, is that you're always playing. But you know, looking at my notation textbook and trying to master how to like draw a treble clef like is not the epitome of fun to me, but I think it's music, and I know it'll make me a better musician and like a more well-rounded musician, and so that's why I'm like willing to do it, you know. Yeah. So I think that's kind of like it. I want to say I'll cover a little bit more of like the general how I perceived this, or like how I perceived this semester. I'll I'll do it like practical tips, do like the intro, practical tips, how I perceive the semester, outro. So I'll be right back and I'll tell you about like kind of my semester and my experience. Hey everyone, I am editing the video and I just realized that if I did the next section, it would have been like a 30-45 minute video. So I'm just gonna end it here and tell me if you like want the second part of me just talking about my experience. I don't know, maybe people will find it useful. I think I covered like a pretty good amount of it so far just in this, and I might edit the second half depending on how this video does. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.